Welcome to the first tutorial. I know I promised to do this a while ago. I apologize that I didn't have time for it, but here it is, the first tutorial that is going to be focusing on the wall designs of builds that I did for myself or for others. In this first one, the most requested one is the Greek mansion walls. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make them.
Yeah, mão pro alto, já tava te vendo. É assalto, olha minha Draco. Não é clique de Canon. Lanço mais.
Today we're going to be doing the tutorial on the Greek mansion walls. As requested a lot, we're going to be building this wall right here. Before you build anything, remember to always focus first on the interior. What kind of rooms do you want? What kind of size do they have to be? And then start on the exterior. If you first start on the exterior, you're gonna have a beautiful house and you have absolutely no idea how to fill it. And eventually you're gonna end up with either an empty house forever or one that you end up deleting because you wanna start something else. Don't do that. So, in the Greek mansions case, we're gonna have a kitchen on one side with a little dining area and a living room on the other side with a giant entrance. It's gonna have the stairs going up. And if you want to, all you have to do is make this, instead of 4, make this an 8. That way you can have the grand entrance together with being able to go downstairs and upstairs. Make sure you change this accordingly to what you desire your building to be. And of course, don't do this first. Now with the update, you can clone your objects, but you can also clone whatever textures and colors that you've put on them. So before you start building, put all the pieces that you're going to be using over on one side and then paint them. For our building, we're going to be using the fawn brown with the marble, of course, and then on the walls we're going to use the white with the marble. Now, of course, this is personal preference. You can make this any color that you desire yourself. For this pillar, we're going to be using the mixture of both. And for these pillars, we're going to be using the white institutional. And the fawn brown. This depends, of course, where the location of the pillar is. On the inside, I usually ended up making them all white because the rooms were all white. And with the new lighting, I suggest you just stick with the fawn brown to make sure it's a little bit darker inside so that the lights won't blind everybody when they walk inside of your building, because the white marble is going to be hurting people's eyes and you don't want that, nor do you want your own. So for the torches, we're going to be using, well, in the original build I used the white light. I'm not going to be using the white light this time. I'm going to be using the medium stone gray. And then for this, it's going to be black. And then the fawn brown to marble, so that they stand out a little bit more. Fawn brown. And this one white. There. So we got these torches going on here, and then for the windows we're going to be using these windows. They are the industrial windows, and then for the fountain I'm using this white background. And the water we're going to make blue. So these are the basic materials that we're going to be using all over this wall. Of course, there's going to be also a fence right there in the middle. This really depends on how you personally prefer the look to be. We're going to be using the marble, of course, with the white. Alright, so let's start. The building walls is going to be 2 out. This is, of course, because of the room that we're going to be using here, so it has a little bit more space. And then for the actual wall design, it's going to be a 4x1, like this. The entrance, of course, is going to be where the window is going to be. It's going to be located right here. And then this you can copy as many times as you prefer to do it, depending on how big you want your building to be. In this tutorial we're going to be using just one single one. So, oops, we got two here. It's going to be looking like this. Alright, this extends to wherever your building is going to be. In this case we're just going to be using the wall. And of course this design you can repeat as many times as you want. This end piece is the corner of your building, and this is going to be the extension of the building. So you copy the interior design as many times as you want, depending on how big you want your building to be. And then of course for the each floor it's going to be looking the exact same. So just copy what you had below. And then we got this. So you got your first wall and the end piece. What you want to copy is always have the two spaces in between, and then copy the 4. So 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, and depending on how big you want your building to be. In this case, it's going to be the same size as the one that you saw on the Greek mansion. It's going to be just this big. So we got the entrance going towards the windows that you see in the back right here. So we're going to put a window right there. And make sure it's in the dead center. In this case we have 4 by 4. So the 4 is going to be right there. And then the same thing in the middle for these. For the pillars on the windows we're going to be using recessed square pillars. The colors of course is completely dependent on how you want your building to look like. And then for the fence we're going to be using the minor stone wall. Creates a nice little border so that the colors of course of your building together with the design of your building is going to look a little bit more detailed. We're going to make these on this building, we're going to make these farm brown. On the Greek mansion they're white. Again, want to be careful these days with the white because of the new lighting. Kind of will blind everybody if you use institutional white on the windows and then end up having lights also use white. You're not going to be able to see anything inside. So you don't want to do that. So we got the fence going on here and below. Creates a nice little border. Then all you end up doing right now is just designing it. This of course depends on how you personally prefer your building to look like. I went quite simple with this one. I suggest also mixing and matching different storages, where you can also make the actual design that you see on the wall right here a little bit different. For example, you can use this one going inside and create a nice little effect, which is very important when you do Greek designs. It's as much wall design as you can possibly cough up together. This personally is one of my favorites. I didn't end up using it on the Greek mansion, but if you want to use this one, be my guest. And then of course we finish it up with this in the middle. And then let's not forget the doorway right there. Now for the final border, it completely depends on how you personally again want to make it look like. I use these at the bottom. And then of course at the end piece I wanted to keep it a little bit open so that I could add a light without it messing up the overall design too much, which creates this little space right here for a torch in the middle. And then you got this. We're gonna be Continuing with the design on the side right here. Again, if you put one right in between them, you get a cool little effect right here. Personal preference, whatever you decide you like more. Then we're gonna create a little border so it all blends nicely together. Like this. And as you can see, I'm using the 2x2. This way you can make sure that everything aligns correctly. Of course, if you want to make personal designs with the decorations, the story just it's completely up to you on where you end up placing them. And then one more right there. Looks good. And then for the final part, the pillars. This completely depends on how you personally like them to look. On the Greek mansion, I just did the pillars very basic and just added a pillar on the front like this. And that was it. And then add the white pillars on the inside so that it looks white on the inside. However, if you want to be nice to your visitors, I suggest going with this effect. Create an overall nice look. Of course, you can add a curtain right here that I did on the Greek mansion as well, which is these right here. Creates a little bit more depth on the windows. And there you go. You got your little design. Don't forget to also, if you want to make sure that you don't have mean guests that comes at your house and like to mess with your lights, don't use torches, because you won't be able to control them and you're gonna have to run around manually turning them back on when they decided to be funny and turning them off. Use different lights for that. Also, you can, of course, close this area right here and then put the torches a little bit closer, which would be right there. Which I believe is what I did on the Greek mansion. And then have the torches be safe inside. It will still light up everything, but nobody will be able to touch it. If you want to see them, however, of course, you just put them here instead of on the outside. And there you go. You can also add the little torch in here. I can place this right. Nope. Guess not. This is for the basics of the Greek mansion. Of course, I suggest personally to mix and match as much as you want, because the more details you have on the walls, the prettier the overall look will be of your building. But this is it for the Greek mansion version. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Support my fellow YouTubers. Check my Twitter and my Instagram if you want to follow any kind of giveaways that I do. And of course, when I open up for commissions for new builds. And of course, if you want me to see more of these, just make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, which kind of walls that you want to see, and I'll make it happen. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.